Welcome back to another episode of The Greek and The Irishman. I'd like to welcome The Irishman into the studio. What's up, man?
Hey, not much. How about you?
It's been a little bit.
It's been a little while.
We got a lot of interesting feedback on our last one. Let's keep going.
Say that.
Let's keep going. A lot of controversial topics right now.
Aren't they all?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they all at this point?
I mean, a lot of people are. There's so many things to talk about. Let's try and pigeonhole. We talked about this swimmer, right? I won't talk about that ever again.
Yeah.
Other than, I don't know if we did the update with that one where, the governor down there actually declared the first place woman. He declared her the winner.
Yeah,
which I think
Governor
is great.
Ron DeSantis.
I'm a big fan of his. I might move to Florida. I'm looking at it.
He's enough reason to move to Florida.
Yeah, he really is. So let's stick with him and let's go with the topic everyone's talking about now, and it's him and Mickey Mouse. Let's talk about that. So, so what's going on now is I think it's more like you could say a slap on the wrist, or it's Disney is in a high position to listen. I know a lot of people that are canceling their Disney Plus account and canceling all their Disney, even though they love Star Wars and they love children's movies and stuff. But these individuals in the high positions in Disney that are just gonna force your children to see what they want them to see and topics that they shouldn't have to worry about being 5 and 6 years old.
Well, I don't know if you saw all these details going on about Disney. Now, this is mind-blowing. I never knew that they were like their own government.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Did you know that?
No, not their own government.
Yeah,
no.
like this. A lot of what this stuff that's going on is about is, and they just had the vote on it, and they're now that's been dismantled. They're no longer their own self-governing system. And they now have to pay taxes and everything else, and everyone's up in arms about it because why should Disney have to pay taxes, right?
Well, the whole Democratic push right now is we're not going to tax the people, we're going to tax the businesses and tax the supreme wealthy, right? So now we're actually taxing the business and the supreme wealthy, and now there's going to be a problem. You'll see.
And I would like to know how many how that even came about. How did they become their own self-governing system?
I don't know.
That's very interesting. That's a topic all of its own. That's very interesting. But why should we be upset as consumers about this? Because they've made so much money over the years. This is just ridiculous that people are upset about this.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's gonna become a huger issue because now Disney's going to take the stand. I already know that, they're going to filter, because they don't have this tax break now, they're going to filter that additional cost onto you at your ticket price.
Oh, no doubt.
So now everyone it cost you $1 million to go to Disney as it is now it's going to cost you $2 million. And
right.
They're going to blame it on the governor.
Right, because even though they've made a killing over the years, they've grown accustomed to that, and people's salaries have grown accustomed to that, and they're going to be losing out now.
Yeah.
Because now money that was there in their pocket is no longer there.
Too bad. It is what it is. You've had that distinction, and that falls on the category of that's what you get, right? That's what you get for, raising and trying to press the pedal down on here's my advantage, and I'm going to jam this down your throat. Well, okay, now you pay more for that.
Which really segues into what this show was all about originally, right?
Which is what?
Well, I think we were going to be talking about the quote-unquote anti-gay bill.
Right. Well, are we allowed to say that?
Well, no, that's what the liberal media has been calling it. They've been calling it the anti-gay bill.
Yeah.
That's Governor Ron DeSantis and his anti-gay bill.
Yeah. Well, look at the huge strides that movement has made. Right, anti-gay now. Whoa, now it's you're not allowed to say, you're not allowed to have an opinion about it anymore, right? So,
I'm sorry, I've been screwing it up. So it's not the anti-gay bill; it's the don't say gay
don't
bill.
Say gay.
That's what they've been calling it, the don't say gay bill.
Yeah. So what are you supposed to say?
Well, that's not what the bill was about at all.
Oh.
It had nothing to do with that.
What's it about?
The bill, it was basically, it's an anti-grooming bill.
Right.
And they were basically pointing the finger at these schools, these preschools, and these kindergarten, elementary schools, and even Disney for grooming.
Yeah.
They're all up in arms about it. And there's nothing that they should be up in arms about, because basically what Governor Ron DeSantis was proposing was that from preschool up until the point where a child is old enough to start learning about sex ed and puberty and all that, there should be nothing in their curriculum talking about anything sexual.
Right.
It just doesn't belong there.
Right.
They're not at that stage in their life to be talking about those subject matters. And when they start bringing this suggestive,
It's easy for you to say. Yeah.
when they start bringing these topics up at such young ages, it's more suggestive, and as Governor Ron DeSantis puts it, it's grooming.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Yeah.
And that's where we're at. Now, the fact that they've been twisting his words and twisting the bill and turning it into this quote-unquote don't say gay bill in order to kind of like pit against him to try to fight this, what they're really doing is exposing themselves as groomers. Because why would they be fighting for this so much?
I don't.
Why is this so important to them?
I don't understand that part. Other than I don't get any parent that would be jamming that down their children's throat at that young of an age, and why they're fighting to make sure that it happens. I don't understand that.
Like to you, Dr. Myke, and to everyone listening out there, if we were to say, like, if I was the principal of your child's elementary school, and I said to you that in the curriculum for your kindergarten student, we're going to be talking about how you can choose and decide for yourself which gender you are, how would you feel about that? Like, that's just weird.
Yeah, absolutely not.
That is beyond weird.
No, I'd pull them out of the school. Yeah, and that's what I've done that.
I mean,
so,
like a kid that age doesn't have that. They're not at that comprehension level yet. They're going to be totally confused.
I don't understand it. I just don't. I can't wrap my head around it, really, other than this is a sick world that we're living in, and this is just another gain for the dark side.
This is downright demonic at this point.
I agree.
This is we're gonna cut right to the chase here. We cut to the chase both on this show and also on the tongue.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna pull any punches, and we're not gonna mince any words. This is evil. This is demonic. We're gonna call it what it is.
Yeah. I just can't see the argument for. I don't understand what the argument for this to be okay is. I don't get it. I mean, what are you trying to do for your children by introducing this into their kindergarten curriculum? What are you doing?
The schools, the public schools, are poisoned. This is an evil agenda. I mean, this is it's perverse. I think they're trying to pervert the children.
Yeah.
And I think they're also trying to pervert what God has created. God clearly made man and a woman. He made two genders.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to make it where people can just at a whim say, well, it may be being a guy, like, oh, I'm a woman today.
Yeah.
Or being a woman, oh, I'm a guy today.
Yeah.
Or I'm choosing my own path, and it's just it's a total mockery of God.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just don't. I tell you what, you got to get your hat off to the governor down there. Like I said, that's more than enough reason for me to uproot and move down there. To see there's one good guy still a good guy out there fighting for what's good.
It's a hard thing to be these days.
Yeah.
It's like an old quote, and I don't remember how the quote goes, but basically, doing the right thing is seldom the easy thing to do.
Right, and most often the less popular thing to do, But I mean, I've heard tons of controversy about it. It's not going away. they're going to fight this. Who knows how this is going to end up with Disney, and maybe I just took my little guy there. It's a great place to go. I also canceled my subscription because I've heard all those people pushing. I'm gonna put this in and I'm gonna put that in all your shows because I want to, and I have a child that's transgender and whatever. That's great for your child. You have a child that's transgender. Good for you, right? I don't need to accept your child's. You can't shove that down my throat.
And what's interesting, and I thought about this the one day when I was at work, because this isn't my full-time job, people. I wish, but I actually, I do hard physical work during the day. Well, anyways, so I was thinking to myself, how especially in the United States, people make it like they're very rigid about this. We live in a secular nation. Secular, everything's secular, no religion, no God, whatever. I really think that was that's aside from the biggest lie the devil ever told, or the biggest trick he ever did, was to convince people that he did not exist.
Right.
Well, I think his second biggest trick was convincing people that we could actually live in a secular nation, in a secular society. I don't think it doesn't exist. It's not true. Because what we're experiencing now is a satanic society.
Well, we're on our way, that's for sure.
Well, you see it. You see the evidence of it. You see the evidence of it in our school systems. Yeah. How they're trying to indoctrinate the kids with their evil agendas. The people that are in charge, I mean, they're trying to convince us that to put our faith in government and to put our faith in pharmacy.
Yeah.
And I just recently learned that pharmacy. Now, Dr. Myke, you're Greek.
I am.
Did you know this? Do you know the base or the root word of the word pharmacy?
Yeah, it's Greek.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
For pharmakia?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
I forget. Greek is all Greek to me.
Well,
I don't remember.
I recently learned that it means sorcery.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now, is that disturbing or what?
That's a little disturbing.
That's very disturbing. So it's like we've been made fool of all this time, all these years. It's like the joke's been on us. All this stuff has been in front of our faces, and they convince people that we live in a secular world, that there's nothing spiritual here. No, we're living in a spiritual war, and we have been since the beginning of time.
Yeah, I think the war just got ramped up a lot more now because of, where we're at as far as timelines, as far as where we are in the history of the world.
I think people are noticing it more. It's more noticeable now.
Well, it's such a huge jump and shift all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like a gradual, but that's their idea with this, get this into your children. We have your children most of the day anyway. You're not, they're teaching them what they want to teach them. So how do you change a generation of thinking? Is instead of fighting that battle, is you just train the next generation up to not know any better.
And that's why they don't want to get rid of the mask mandates on the school children, because they're so much easier to shape and mold than us older people.
Did you see the stuff that's going on in China right now, in Shanghai? These severe lockdowns.
Oh, yeah.
I keep thinking to myself, if that happens here, and, where they're coming in and ripping children away from their parents and sending them because they're quote unquote infected or sick, or, we're doing it for the protection. I mean, that's what the Nazis did. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're going to take you to a safe camp because, for your protection. And they're getting trained off to these mass execution sites. But I keep trying to think, if somebody came and tried to take my child from me and say, oh, well, they're infected or you're infected, too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand how this is on a city of so many millions of people, how they're allowing I guess the government to just come in and just lay the law down. I don't get it.
It's horrible. People are starving over there.
Yeah, it's
They're
crazy.
they're being locked in their apartment buildings. They're not allowed to leave. And then when they bring food, when the city brings food on the streets for people, like basically, I guess like the bread lines or whatever,
Yeah.
they're running out of food. And then people are rioting because there's not enough food.
Right.
And people are starving in their apartments. They're starving in their homes.
It's crazy.
And it's the videos I've seen on this are just so disturbing. As you said, Dr. Myke, they're splitting up families. They're taking people off to these basically concentration camps.
Yeah.
And they're locking them away.
Who knows what they're getting told while they're there?
Right.
Right.
And
hey, you know what? Your parents are evil. Your parents are wrong. They're trying to teach you, something wrong. We're trying to. They could tell your children anything they want to.
yeah.
And you're out of the picture.
And the people that they're saying are contaminated, that they're dragging away to these concentration camps, they're bagging up their pets. If they have pets, cats, dogs, whatever,
Oh, yeah, I saw
they're
that
bagging
too.
them up. They're throwing them out. I guess they're killing them, eating
That's
them.
crazy.
I don't know what they're doing.
That's crazy.
I mean, this is monstrous.
Yeah.
And so then you have someone tweeting out on behalf of Xi Jinping, well, I'm doing this because for the love of the people.
Yeah.
This is not love. This is totally monstrous, what he's doing to these people. And since we're on this subject, I just want to say that, to all my fellow Americans out there, be prepared what's going to come in the next month or two, because Shanghai is
Huge port.
it has
Huge port.
the biggest, it's the biggest seaport in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
They've been on lockdown now for 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
This is the third week.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, they're possibly going to be locked down till June,
That's crazy.
maybe even throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah.
This is going to impact the entire world. So I never speak or preach a message of panic.
Yeah.
Be
Be prepared.
prepared.
Yeah.
I always talk about being prepared.
Yeah.
So when you hear this episode, when you read my posts, when I'm warning you about what's going on, it's so that you can peacefully make your way to the stores and buy stuff that you will need, so that when we do have problems with shortages, you will have what you need on hand.
Well, you see it going on now. The prices of food is up 40%.
Yeah.
You don't even have to talk about the gas crap.
And it's going to get worse.
Yeah, and I believe it's getting worse
with
too.
the shortages, because see, the reason why it's going to take a month or two is it takes about a month for things to get here from China. Mm-hmm. It spends about a month on the sea, on a boat. So by the time it reaches our shores, about a month has gone by. So because they've been shut down for about 3 weeks now, we're not going to feel the effects of this right away. And it's sad that our government isn't talking about this at all, which proves to me, because they know better, our government knows how long it takes for ships to get from there to here.
Of course.
They're not saying anything because they don't care.
Well, they are saying, the puppet master there or puppet head is saying, it's going to impact us. So, that's not his warning, but that's just his way of saying, I told you it's going to get bad. It's going to get real bad.
Right.
That's what I think.
It's going to get worse than people realize. And he's not emphasizing that enough.
Yeah.
And because, most Americans are oblivious and they live in the moment, they're just thinking, well, everything's fine right now. Yes, everything is fine right now.
Yeah.
But this is going to impact us later, when, say, a month from now, when we're supposed to get a full ship from China,
right.
we got nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, and it's not that hard to picture, because we've gone through this already. Remember the toilet paper crisis?
Yeah.
Right? Well, you go to the store one day and there's enough for everybody. You go the next week and the aisle is empty. There's people, hoarding.
But that I think was more because people were being stupid.
Well, it was a panic.
Yeah, but people were buying up toilet paper for whatever reason.
Well, it was a panic. That's why.
But this shortage that's going to be coming our way is not from panic buying. I mean, I'm sure.
It's going to lead to.
I'm sure it'll contribute to it
for sure.
But we're going to have real shortages. Like we're
Yeah.
just not going to have it.
Yeah, and they're going to blame. There's a lot to be said for this, but they're going to blame a lot of it on the war, and it's a lot of the emphasis is going to be placed on that.
Oh,
other
sure.
than I think this is a control as well. You know what I mean?
I think so too,
Yeah.
because the whole. I don't know if you know the reason why they're having these shutdowns over in China.
The virus. That's what we're being told.
But it's the whole zero COVID
Zero
thing.
tolerance. Yeah.
Yeah, like so we're not gonna reopen until we have 0 cases.
Yeah. Right.
They had 26 million people in Shanghai. Shanghai is like the New York City of China.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't plan on reopening until they have 0 cases.
Think of I know people over there, and I mean their entire livelihood is just stopped, done. No way. I mean they're out of a job. They can't leave their home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think, how that translates to us over here, where we enjoy a lot more freedom and a lot more, it's not too far fetched to go to bed one night and to wake up the next day to a hazmat team at your front door. You know what I mean? Saying, this is a special mandate. We have to clear out. And
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's how they like to do things.
And I
like
think
they just recently did with some farmers' chickens not that long ago.
Yeah.
Oh, your chickens, they have bird flu. We got to kill them all.
obliterated. Yeah. Yeah.
And how are you going to prove otherwise?
And then no chicken wings anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't done intentionally.
Yeah, right.
We come on, guys. We're saying there's going to be food shortages, so now we got to make these food shortages happen.
Yeah, and I got no eggs and no chickens.
Exactly, because all they got to say is, and then what about the poor farmer that just lost all their livestock
all their
now
chickens.
because the government came in and said your chickens are no good.
That's crazy. That's craziness.
But see now, do you find it interesting that it was literally like days or whatever before Shanghai had their lockdown, Biden went over to have a talk with Xi Jinping?
It's all good. And then
It's kind of funny.
There's that other part where it's they warned no more support for Ukraine, and then he comes on Puppethead and says, here we're double downing 800 more million sent over in aid and not aid but military. Yeah, so, and we've been warned, I think we're going to be the target of the first retaliation on somewhere here in the United States. We're going to get a wake up call.
Well, because I don't believe, and this is not just my belief. I mean, a lot of people believe this. I don't believe that Biden's really in control.
Well, we all know that.
I think if Biden went over to China, I guarantee you Obama was in a suitcase.
Yeah.
And so to speak, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whatever the case is, it's suspicious that whoever was speaking with Xi Jinping days before the Shanghai lockdown, this is coordinated. What's going on here? And this is definitely to hurt our country. This is to hurt many countries. This is a coordinated effort, I believe, to collapse all the economies.
I think so too.
Because remember, they're all pushing for this new world order. Now, China
secretly,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, China claims that they want to keep their sovereignty. Putin of Russia, he claims he wants to keep the sovereignty. Him, I believe. I don't know about China. I think China does too, but there's so much corruption there, it's hard to say what's really going on sometimes.
I think it's I'm looking for a news clip here. I don't have it at my fingertips, but it's just you send this guy over to China, and I have this a clip of Puppethead, just babbling nonsense. He doesn't know what he's saying. He's tripping over his words, and finally he's like, yeah, we're gonna do something. And I wish I had it at my fingertips, but
are you talking? What comes to mind is that video clip of them at the party.
Which part?
Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see
The
that
one where Biden's kind of wandering around the room and no one's paying attention to him. You didn't see that?
I didn't see that one. No.
Oh, I'll have to include that video clip in this podcast show, so that you guys, like right now while I'm talking, you guys will see it on the screen of Biden walking around and
Not knowing where he is.
no one. He's walking behind Kamala Harris and Obama.
Uh-huh.
And everyone's shaking Obama's hand. Everyone's talking to Obama and laughing and smiling. And he's, Obama's like the star of the show.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Biden's walking behind him, and he's reaching to tap Obama's shoulder to get his attention.
And he can't.
And Obama's ignoring him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then there's another clip. It's all from the same evening. There's another clip where Biden was left all by himself.
Yeah.
And he's just wandering around the room, and he's like lost.
The poor guy. What is he? 80?
He's got to be like 80 now.
Yeah,
no one was paying him any attention.
Yeah, well, because they know.
Well, what does that tell you about what's going on here? Who's really in charge?
It's just, well, obviously it's not him.
Everybody was acting like Obama was the president. They were giving him all the attention.
Yeah.
He was the one talking with everybody. He was working his way around the room, and meanwhile, Biden was just kind of like no one wanted anything to do with him.
Like the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, the child falling behind. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great one. And now you're hearing those rumors of, Harris and Biden at conflict with each other, and they don't support each other, and yada yada. So a lot of that's gonna go. I just keep looking for all the people that were so pro Biden, and they're ramming, screaming in your face he's the answer, and I don't know where these people are anymore. Because even them
probably hiding.
I mean, they're all hanging their heads,
Well, yeah, because really the only pro Biden people I think that I ever seen were people who were just anti-Trump.
Yeah,
there
that's
were
exactly the ones.
Really
that,
there were really no pro Biden people.
What do you think of Trump? You think he's going to run again?
Well, it sounds like it to me.
What about Governor DeSantis? What do you think of him?
I like him. I honestly.
What do you think if he put his hat in there?
I think he would be a great candidate.
You
for
think
presidency.
people would vote for him?
I think so.
I mean, here we go. Now we circle back to how do you ever trust another election in this country? How do you?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who's up there, really. They're going to put in whoever
something
they want.
has to be done about the 2020 election before we can move on to 2024. Because if something is not done, then you're going to have a lot of people that don't want to be bothered with the elections anymore. Because there's a lot of anger. There's still a lot of anger for that.
I think that's what they're. I know people that are like, oh, what's the sense in voting? I'm not voting ever again. I think that's what they want, and I think that's why all these illegals are coming across the border in droves.
Investigations are still going on for the 2020 elections.
I mean, what do you do? We're in 2022. What do you do?
I don't know.
Erase the last 2 years of Puppet Head? I mean, how do you do that?
Technically, if they prove that the election was a fraud, and if they decertify the election results, technically everything he's doing now would be void.
Yeah, but I mean,
it would have to be reversed.
How do you it's imagine the chaos here if that order comes through, right? Oh, by the way, the election result void, and Trump is the real president.
Well, that's where, call me a conspiracy theorist all you want, but that's why I kind of think things are playing out the way they are. Because as time goes on, now, if this would have happened a year and a half ago, yes, what you're saying would have happened. You would have probably chaos, riots, everybody.
Well, we did have that.
But fast forward to the present day, and as we keep going on, I think you have so many people that would be happy to see him removed from office because of all the chaos that he's causing this country. I mean, the country is being destroyed, and I think a lot of people are seeing that to the point where they would be happy to see Trump come back, because not only would they see the inflation go down, but you would also see the chaos that's going on between other countries would dissipate. You would have
you'd have somebody with a backbone in charge again.
Right. And you would have jobs, you would have employment on the rise again.
But see, I don't see this happening because I don't see that party giving up their control. So you see, okay, so you declare. I don't think they're going to declare the election void or problematic. I think what they're going to do is label the puppet head as not capable of performing his duties, and then they'll put Harris in there, and then something will happen with Harris, and then they'll put the speaker in, and that'll glide us to the next election.
Oh, even if they put Harris in there, I mean,
then we're in trouble.
We all know Obama's still running the show at that point.
Well, yeah,
because she's probably just as useless as Biden. So, I mean, you've seen it. I'm sure at this point you've seen enough of her interviews.
Yeah,
where
I can't watch them anymore.
Wow,
I can't watch any of that.
It's like, what the heck is in office right now?
Yeah, I can't. Well, that's why I think the mass illegals across the border and the push for them to be, I think they're looking for their next. They want to give them all the voting rights and get them in there. That's a huge section of new voters that are going, hey, we let you come in the country. I'm going to pay you $400 and some thousand to come in, and now I need your vote. Yeah, that's the only stipulation is you have to vote. Just sign here. We'll vote for you.
And realistically speaking, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If someone said, hey, all you Americans, come to Italy, we'll give you $500,000. We just need you to vote for this guy.
Yep. Do it in.
And how many people would probably do that?
Especially if I'm a criminal and I'm in prison, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just come over here and I'll give you $500,000 and just vote for Mussolini.
What do they care?
Yeah. All right, Mussolini, you're in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think that's why I like the governor down there. The governor that's packing them all up on buses and shipping them to Washington. I think that's brilliant.
And I think was it Governor Abbott of Texas? He was going to start doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's great.
He was going to send them either to Washington or Delaware.
They should go to Washington, right there, right on Pennsylvania Avenue. Just line them up and knock on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we're living. So, I mean, what do you? Okay, so you can't really count a new election coming in. You can't really. I think there'll be a mass chaos if they say Trump actually won the election and they put him back in power. So. I mean, he'd immediately open the pipeline and gas prices would fall.
Oh yeah.
But do you think we're headed to a civil war here again? Do you think that's where we're headed? A lot of people think that's what's coming.
No, I don't think so, because I think with everything going on, I think people are actually going to become more united.
You think so?
Yeah.
Behind who though?
I'm not sure who behind exactly, but I know that I think as time goes on, you're gonna find I think we're almost there. There's zero support for Biden.
Yeah,
and I think that's what most people can agree on now. If you go just about anywhere, whether to your job or to a store, and if you start saying anything negative about Biden, try seeing if anyone speaks out against you.
But not anymore. A lot less these days.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how when you would say if you said something positive about Trump back in the day or
and they attack you.
You got attacked.
Yeah.
Well, now if you say anything against Biden, you're gonna get so many people chiming in agreeing with you.
Well, you still get the one or two clowns that jump in and say, "Oh, the president has no control over gas prices." You'll get that clown. When you complain about that, as I've had that. Oh, President, don't you know anything? They have no control over gas. Yeah.
But it's everything. It's not just the gas. It's everything now.
The country's the worst it's ever been.
Yeah,
right
I mean, the inflation on regular, groceries and, some things, I'm sorry, have to be,
Crime's out of control. That's why I like that quote from... See, then I'm telling you, Florida's the place to be, dude. It's they declared war on all the people that are... have open season on cop killers, right? And I don't have that one quote. I talked about it in the other podcast. And it's it's open season. If you shoot a cop, we're coming after you with everything we got.
That's right.
And
they shot this one guy.
They shot that guy 68
they shot him
times.
68 times.
Yeah, I love that.
And what the judge or whoever asked the coroner or whatever,
why'd you do that?
Why did you shoot them 68 times?
Yeah.
And they said that's all the ammunition we had.
That's great. I love that. That's inspiring to me.
And it gets better. The coroner reported that
natural causes.
He died of natural causes, and they said, well, "Why do you say he died of natural causes?" And I said, well, because if you were shot that many times, it's naturally you're going to die.
Yep. Because you still have those clowns that are out there. Well, oh, how could you shoot this poor, this poor helpless whoever they pulled over.
Yeah.
The one that executed the cop and shot, killed. He killed the officer that pulled him over, execution style, right? Shot him a bunch of times, killed the police dog, shot his partner, right? And they found him in the woods shooting that SWAT team.
Yeah.
And the SWAT team unloaded on him.
Yeah.
Good for them. That's what you get.
Yep.
Right? That's what you should do across the country here.
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's why Philly, going back some years ago, that's why they introduced the law in regards to killing police. Automatic 25 years, 25 to life.
Yeah.
But I say automatic meaning a minimum, like you were not serving lesser sentence than 25 years.
Yeah.
Because they were having an issue with people were shooting at cops and stuff.
Yeah.
It happened, I believe, after the one incident with the police officer. Happened at like 8 in the morning at a Dunkin' Donuts. You probably remember this.
I don't.
Police officer was walking into a Dunkin' Donuts at around 8 in the morning while an armed robbery was in progress.
At the Dunkin' Donuts?
At the Dunkin' Donuts.
I'll tell you what, that takes some stones to rob a Dunkin' Donuts.
Exactly. Yeah.
That
right.
takes some stones. Yeah.
So when the police officer walked into the Dunkin' Donuts, he startled the armed robber.
Right.
And without thinking, the armed robber, got nervous and quick pulled the trigger and shot the police officer.
Wow.
Right in the face.
Wow. This was in Philly?
This was in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
When after that happened,
Philly should have burned. That's what should have happened.
well, yeah,
They should have been up in arms.
They said the mayor of Philly came out and basically said, like, well, we're not having this. So basically, anybody that does something like this, you're getting a minimum of 25 years.
Yeah.
They were because
I don't even think that's harsh enough. I don't. I mean, what do they care? You're obviously you've already crossed the line and you're committing a crime. You know the consequences, jail, right? So a minimum of 25 with good behavior, you're out and whatever.
Well, the problem is though, is some people when they go to jail for murder, sometimes it's 7 years, 8 years, whatever. But the problem is that these people need to be afraid of police. They need to respect the authority.
Well, they're not. Well, in Florida, they should be now.
Yeah.
So I think that's.
Well, I think they're seeing I'm going to be toast.
Yeah.
There's not going to be like, come with us, no, you're done.
Now I have to do that with these mass shooters now. The punishment has to be severe for these people that are just popping off in public environments and just shooting people at random like that idiot on the subway, just popping smoke grenades and shooting people. The punishment for him has to be more severe, like public something.
Yeah.
Like something, I don't even know. But
it's all about having the balance, because take for example, there's something to be said about countries like Singapore that have very strict laws. They do canings there. You can get sentenced to so many lashings.
Yeah.
And also they have very steep fines. And then you have countries like Russia, whereas
off to Siberia.
Yes, it's a dictatorship, but I'll tell you what, you don't mess around in Russia.
Yeah.
So the point is like, yes, we want to live in a free country and have our freedoms, but we need to also have a balance where if you F around, you'll find out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I was watching this one thing on TV one time years ago, and these terrorists or whatever they were causing some kind of problems at this one mall or some public square or whatever, and they were all.
This is overseas.
Yeah, it was in Russia.
Oh, okay.
They were inside this cargo type van.
Right.
Well, the Russian police or whatever, they finally converged on this van.
Yeah.
They smashed all their windows in. They dragged them all out. They were beating them all up. And I'm like, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Like that's why people don't usually get out of line a lot of times in those countries, because they know that there's a lot of steep consequences involved.
Or you send them off to Siberia where you're never heard from again. That's what we need here. We need a Siberia. That's what we need. And then people know once you do that, your life is over here. Like that's it. There's no chance of you going and serving your time and coming back out to do the same thing.
Well, that's what England did at one time. with the people, they carted them off to Australia.
Yeah.
Now imagine, well, they did that. I guess that they did that to the United States too before it was the United States.
What?
A lot of they would send
Send them out of here.
the people they didn't want over there. I guess came
Send
over
them
here.
Yeah, they come across the border every day. They're coming across the border.
But like imagine though being so imagine you're British and you get in trouble and they're like, well, we don't want you here anymore,
Yeah.
and then they throw you out to Australia.
That's great.
Imagine how people probably died that way.
In Australia?
Well, you figure all the things in Australia that can kill you.
Yeah, snakes and
spiders
Yeah.
and I
All
don't
that
know.
stuff.
Maybe you try to pet a kangaroo or something. And
Yeah, it doesn't go so well. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the environment alone will kill you.
yeah,
Yeah, good. That's what you get. That's what you need.
yeah.
Maybe you banish somebody, you drop them off here in the middle of the desert with nothing. And say, here you go, just kick them out of the helicopter.
And you say good
And
luck.
say, good luck, dude. We'll see you.
The strong shall survive.
Yeah.
Shall survive.
And you put a tracker on them so you know where they're at. And if they get too close to the edge of the desert, then you open fire on them.
The flat desert.
Yeah. A flat desert.
Inside joke.
I just saw a video on that too. Remind me to tell you later about flat desert. Yeah, but it's crazy. The stuff going on here is out of control, and I don't know what the next step is other than what I can confidently say is just be prepared and start taking the precautions. Even if we're wrong, it doesn't hurt to take the precaution. Start stocking up on
some
stuff.
survivalists will tell you to always have so much canned goods on hand.
Yeah,
and
you should.
dehydrated food just for any kind of emergencies.
Right. Candles.
Yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah.
So that's our advice. Do that.
Yeah. Be prepared.
Be prepared. So you never know what's going to happen. We're in a scary time. This is a scary time, right?
Yeah.
You could wake up, and this is my question I asked the other day is, if they shot a nuclear warhead coming to the U.S., and I posed the question, do you think they would tell us? Do you think they would, if they knew that this is coming, and it's coming to, let's say, New Jersey, right? Which nobody cares if they blow New Jersey up. But if you're in New Jersey, I mean, do they tell you it's coming?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Unless they
You can't get
intentionally
out of
wanted-
New Jersey.
Unless they intentionally wanted to just create panic, which they might, because
But what's it matter? That
I
thing
think
could,
they're sadistic people that enjoy inflicting pain.
Yeah.
So maybe they would warn us, even though it doesn't do us
It's like,
really.
by the way, you got 8 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
okay.
And that's it.
Yeah, and I could totally see them doing that
Yeah.
just for the sake of
Well, we just found out you only have 3 minutes now. Yeah, that's what I could see.
have like a little countdown.
Yeah.
Watch
Oh.
everyone freak out while they're
Yeah.
all hanging out in their bunkers down below the ground.
Yeah, watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there goes Jersey Shore. Oh well.
Yeah,
Whoosh.
there goes Jersey.
Yeah. We won't miss that one. But well. Anyway, we're at that time, my man. That was
Oh
quick.
wow, that was pretty fast.
That was quick.
We
Well,
went down a few rabbit holes.
A couple, but we'll go down some more because
Yeah.
there's a lot more to go down.
Oh, always will be.
Yeah. So, well, this is good. I like it. So, be prepared. Man, there's so many things we're gonna have to touch on the upcoming episodes.
Yeah. So everybody out there, stay tuned. There's gonna be more.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Until then, just stock up.
Stock up and stay prepared.
All right. Until then, JB, I'll see you later, my man.
See ya.
All right. We'll see you next time, everybody.